I feel like there's a lot of people who make videos telling you how to be this big creator, but there's no creators that are like, hey, I'm gonna talk about how it feels to be in this space of being small. I want to put this on YouTube just to see if I can get some creators that are like, damn, I feel the same way this guy feels. You know, that stuff like that. That'd be cool. And also, if I get some subscribers, that would definitely be cool. I would like that a lot.
Things that were working and also not working for gaming channels. I'm mentioning it here because I think all of that information is still relevant today, but there is an entire side of the discussion we just simply didn't have time to get to, and that's what I'm here to do now. You see, to stand out on YouTube, you might feel like you have to reinvent the wheel completely and do something that nobody's ever attempted before. And yeah, if you nail it, that can be fantastic for you, but it's also not a realistic place to start a channel from. But you might also think, well, certainly nobody's going to watch me play through some game and just chat my way through it Let's Play style.
That's
been done a billion times.
That's true.
Sure, with that attitude, I guess nobody's going to notice, but that's also not a great headspace to be in. I don't think any negative aspect of what a gaming channel should look like is going to get you very far. I want you to build a channel that you are proud of. Something that fits your personality, your goals, your interests, and your
tell me, Magic Man
schedule. So to build that this year, I'm going to break this video up into a few parts. First, we're going to talk about what modern gaming channels need, in my opinion, in order to attract new viewers.
All right, tell me what they need.
Since that section will sound like a whole bunch of rules and regulations, the next section is going to help you maybe break some of those rules in a healthy way. Because personally, I believe that no two YouTube channels have followed the same exact playbook as another one.
Very correct. They have not.
In the section, you'll hear from a creator who's been doing this for a long time, has over 5 million subscribers, and has built the type of gaming channel that I think so many of you want for yourselves. I asked him a bunch of questions that gaming creators are always asking us, and I think you'll find his perspective very valuable. So, section 1. What does a modern gaming channel need to grow on YouTube this day and age?
What does it need?
We need like 1,000 things, but we don't have that kind of time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that channels need a novelty or a through line. What exactly do I mean by that? Think of it as like a gimmick, but in a good way. I think every channel on YouTube really needs a hallmark, something that makes their channel unique. This was one thing I talked about a lot last year, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but some of the examples I gave back then were that you cover news topics on your channel, or you have a special skill like speedrunning. Maybe you review games. You're an expert at one particular game. Or maybe you're like the Spiffing Brit and you break games. You 100% complete games, you know, things like that. Let's look at our first example today. Somebody who I believe has a really solid gimmick, but it took them years to nail it down. The channel is called Any Austin, and they started on YouTube about 11 years ago.
Oh, God.
But you might recognize some of the more recent videos because the last year or two have been like incredibly successful for them. What you'll notice right away is that in the latest videos, Any Austin is covering a lot of different games. But what I love about this example is that you've probably picked up on the gimmick I mentioned pretty quickly as well. While Any Austin started out doing what I would call Let's Plays and like typical gaming content early on, nowadays, the channel looks a lot different, and they cover games from a new perspective. Do Grand Theft Auto 5's power lines connect to anything? Where do Hyrule's rivers go? What is Windhelm's unemployment rate? Where did Fallout 3's bombs
hold on.
The people who play the games in
That's fire. That's fire. What is Skyrim's unemployment rate? That's wild. Okay, so it's as I thought, because I've been actually spending my time also thinking about several things to do this. And yeah, you need like, what is it called? He called it a hallmark. Let's see, what is he? Let's look up the definition of a hallmark. Alright, so a hallmark is a greeting card. A distinctive characteristic or something or someone. So, I mean, true. You need a thing that you just do, that you do like in every video. I think when I started, I had no idea what that was. I kind of see it now. Because that's what the algorithm wants. They want you to be like either good at doing something, they want you to be weird about something. I guess let's continue.
These videos. All of the titles here raise really interesting questions.
Yeah.
And also questions you don't need the answer to in order to actually play through the game. If you know, you know. When you see these videos pop up about a game you recognize, you can tell there's some needless experimentation going on here. Why does someone need to run around Los Santos and follow the power lines and figure out exactly where they lead? They don't.
Okay, but that's hilarious, though.
Does this again and again, video after video. They've created a niche for themselves, not by playing one game, but by narrowing the focus and creating a theme across their entire channel. As we can see, this channel started doing this type of content just a couple years ago. I do not think something like this happens by pure luck. I think this kind of success comes from having a really strong interest in the content that you're making. That is to say, I think Austin here is way more interested in sharing fun experiments and observations that they've made, and a lot less interested in the idea of becoming a big YouTuber. Because nobody wakes up one day and starts to search YouTube for the next big YouTuber.
That's true.
They're going onto YouTube to search for the answer to...
Okay, this is the truth. This is the truth. One of the truths that I've seen with wanting to be large is I don't want to say everyone wants to be big, but you can't go into it just wanting to be big. That's not how it works. You have to have something that you do, and then the thing that you do might cause you to become large, which is fair. I think I went at it at an angle that was a bit too difficult for someone just getting started, because I started out wanting to do analytical things, but that requires not only for me to use my brain, but also scripting, which is super difficult for me. Because that's what I'm trying right now. Right now, I'm attempting to make an analytical video to see if I can be one of these people that has a hallmark of being analytical. Because I can do it on stream. That's completely easy. I just talk. But to do it for a video, it's a little more difficult. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it's complicated, I think.
A specific question, or if a video served to them and they click, it's because it provoked an interesting thought or it was fun. So when I say a channel needs a gimmick or a through line, I think Austin is the perfect demonstration.
You want it to be good. Exactly, you do want it to be good. Just spitballing and saying things isn't necessarily the way to make it good. If you want to be analytical about something, it usually takes time and you have to think about it. You have to process it and you have to think about not all the things, but a lot of the things. If, for example, this guy, he can't just talk about, you know, the economy in Super Mario Sunshine. He would have to play the game and low-key kind of research the economy in the game to make said video about the economy. That's not something you could just do. Exactly, and with writing everything, there is a lot of steps. That is true. There are steps. It takes it's like that baby step game. Baby steps. I feel like if I wasn't analytical, my other niche probably could just be well, see, that's the thing. I don't actually know what it would be. Because even as I play, because I want to play the OG Resident Evil games, I'm still doing that from a more analytical standpoint, because I'm playing the game and I can be entertaining, but the video is going to be me talking about the experience and showing it. So yeah. However, the process of playing the game is going to be like a very fun part that I will not mind doing, and then the lesser fun part, which is the brain part, will be done later after that. But for the thing I'm doing right now, it's brain stuff and then editing and then the video done. There is no fun in that per se. Well, no, the fun was watching BoJack Horseman, I think. That was the fun for that one. And then like but it's like for most people when they start out doing a thing on content creation, I mean, BoJack is that's true. It is in fact a time. God, what a great show. Great show. This guy sounds goated though. I don't know if it's fun. It's fun sometimes. It's entertainment. You're being entertained. And being the act of pursuing the entertainment is fun, I think. I'm not the progenitor of the definition of fun. So don't listen to me. I'm just a thing on the internet. I'm just a thing on the television. I'm just trying to like work out my weird, stupid little YouTuber feelings, because people tell you that because they say you have to be niche, but I think this guy has it better. You have to have a hallmark, and hallmarks sound better than just being niche.
Of this. But the other thing that this creator is doing very well is I think they have a very solid idea of who they are. They understand them.
Bro, I love that he talks about the unemployment rate and stuff. That's so funny. So what that would probably entail is, and that's good for streams too, because then on the stream you just walk around and you just dictate who has a job and who doesn't based off the NPCs that you see. Because I remember there are some games. Well, see, some people would know this because they don't actually talk to NPCs in video games. But if you talk to NPCs in video games, they usually put lives and lore and stuff in the game, so you can see, hey, in this JRPG or something like that, these people don't have jobs because they're all homeless because they don't have a place to stay. So the unemployment rate would definitely shoot up. And then economical issues with homeless being in areas taking resources and food because they can't let them die. So that's going to be hard for everybody else, which might make other people have issues surviving and things like that. So very, very good topics. Very good thing to make content on. And probably no one else is doing that. Reminds me of a Matt Pet a little bit, because that's what he would do. He would make a video about Mario, and I think that's one of his more famous videos about Luigi being a millionaire, I think. Because of all the money that you can make in Luigi's Mansion. That's like exactly that same concept of taking a game, taking an abstract mechanic from the game, and then just making that the whole video. Yeah, he has like the bro facts. Dude got like 3. Well, see, one of them isn't even a mansion. I think he has a mansion, and then I think one of them is a hotel. I think, and then the third one. I don't even know what the fuck the third one is. I only played the first one, bro. The people think they should make a fourth one, and it'd be Luigi's Mansion, but it's an apartment. That'd be so good. Or bro, put Luigi in the hood. Be like Luigi's duplex. That'd be great. I don't know if that would be good. Luigi's basement, bro. Oh my god. No, give him a sex dungeon. Luigi's sex dungeon. That'd be good. That'd be peak. Look. Luigi needs something, alright? Bro needs a win. It could be a haunted sex dungeon.
Themselves. Now that might sound a little bit weird, but just hear me out for a second. When you sit down and watch a creator like Any Austin,
Luigi Landlord Simulator, oh god, kill Luigi.
Quick idea.
Right behind me is a building from the hit 2013 video game Grand Theft Auto 5. On the side of the building is a small device with a wire sticking out of it. That wire comes out of the building and connects to this.
I see somebody who's comfortable in front of the camera, understands what they're talking about, and is genuinely interested in the topic
facts,
of the video.
dude.
Notice that
that's the other thing. He cares. He's not just talking about. He had an arrow. He's like, look at this wire. This wire is just going into this building. Just straight up point it out.
The focus of that intro wasn't to tell us about how many subscribers Any Austin is hoping to have by next month. Austin has prepared an in-depth look at something in a game, and despite it being very funny...
Okay, I've had a thought. I think it is true that most of the people who get audiences, they let me put my... God, it's so hard to think about words sometimes. I say a lot of stuff. They offer a service of entertainment. That I think that is what it is. You cannot start by just playing the video game, because everyone does do that. What you have to do is you have to... This is why guide channels do really good. When a new game comes out and they do guides and tips and stuff, that's how you get it. That's why the gacha community has such a big following. They usually start out with guides. Everyone doesn't mind listening to the sound of their voice and watching them play the game in order to do the guides, and then it kind of bleeds over into them watching them play the game. It's the same thing with the multiplayer games. The multiplayer games, people usually do like guides and tips and tricks, but then you know, they're also like, hey, I also stream on Twitch, so come check me out. Then they check them out because they've seen like 5 guide videos, and they're like, hey, this guy's not that bad, and then they come check him out. This man's doing the same shit. He's talking about power lines, unemployment rates, and the economy in these video games that he plays in order to figure these things out. So then he could be, if he wanted to, he could be like, hey, if you want to see these unemployed NPCs with me, come check me out on my Twitch or something like that. Very smart. Super genius. This man might actually have it.
They are taking it incredibly seriously. So to have this type of delivery in front of the camera, I think you need to be comfortable in your own skin. And if you couldn't tell, I'm a little bit envious of what Austin has going on here. I think channels like this come across really natural. And if I wanted to make a video like this, I feel like I'd need more practice first. I have to hone this skill of talking to a piece of glass because it's inherently awkward to sit
It's
in a room
really
alone
weird.
and talk to a camera. Whatever it
It's
is you're
really
trying
weird.
to do on your YouTube channel, give yourself time. And that brings
I say as I talk to the glass.
me to the next thing I want to talk about before moving on to the next section. And that is, I think every single creator on YouTube needs to give themselves the space to stop worrying about things like subscribers and views.
I stopped looking at this shit a while ago. I put the video out, and then if I don't see it doing good, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Because sometimes the video do grow later on. I have seen some shit that no one cared about get a couple views, like 5 to 6 months down the line. Is that you got to keep pushing. It's a lot harder when 'cause, I mean, this doesn't translate to Twitch. If you're on Twitch and you see the number small and you want the number to get bigger, that's just kind of depressing. That's why I don't deal with that. Some people are like, oh, hide the number, don't look at it. I don't really care for me, but I'm not normal. I'm really weird. If the number was larger, cool. If there are people in the chat, cool. But I would still be doing this. As I'm doing it right now, I would continue doing it. So yeah, you gotta stop worrying about like the numbers and the stats and shit, because when you start obsessing over that, it becomes about that and not the content itself. You feel?
Views. I already touched on this a little bit, but I want to be super clear. Viewers, aka real human people,
Yes.
do not care about how many subscribers you have. They don't care
Absolutely.
about how many views your video got. And if they do you really want them watching anyway?
That's very true. I have seen though, if you make a good video and you are small, the comments will be like, why the fuck are you so small? I thought this was from a big channel. Because that's how it is. We're in an era to where the formula's been laid out. If you make a solid video at this point that just like fires on all cylinders, they'll just watch it and they'll assume that you're big. Make sure that you tell them to subscribe though. If you don't do that, they're not going to do it though. So don't worry about it, but you should tell them to do it. Definitely.
What they should be caring about is what's right in front of them. And
Exactly.
that's the title and the thumbnail and the promise of what.
I don't know if that thumbnail is good. So this is a League of Legends. Is this League of Legends? I think so. It looks like it. I don't know. However, no, it's a League of Angels. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this is, but definitely people would click on this. It says the worst MMO ever. Oh my god, dude. The word worst is probably one of the best words you can put in your video. If you do any video on something bad, but not even something bad, if you're telling people what is the worst of something, people are going to click it. The internet has become inherently negative minded. They want to see the negatives. They want to see the bads. I don't know why it's like that. This is just how it is. I've noticed it. Because one of my most like popped off videos that actually got traction and clicks and comments was a video of me complaining about Dragon Age the Veilguard. Because Dragon Age the Veilguard was not a good game at all. It was a disgusting shell of what it was supposed to be. And I wanted to explain that. And boy howdy, did people click that video, watch the whole thing, and then comment in the video. Because I did not like it. I was being negative. And I'm like, now why can't I get this amount of traction when I talk about something that I love? Nobody fucking cares. Everyone only wants to hear me shit on things. internet loves negativity. They do. It's quite an epidemic of negativity.
That video is about, and they care about getting that promise delivered upon when they click on the video. But you're not stupid. I mean, you watch YouTube just like I do,
Yeah.
and you know what you want when you click on
Hey man, you don't know me. Maybe I am stupid. The fuck?
a video. You know how it feels to get into a video and have it not start the way you expected it to start. So me saying all of this should
That's
feel
true.
pretty obvious, but from personal experience, I watch a lot of videos from a lot of creators, and if I click on a video, or more likely add it to my watch later playlist, and then I go back to watch it,
Okay.
I cannot stand it when it doesn't deliver on what I clicked on. It happens.
Okay. So I think he is talking about the clickbait problem. So when God, dude, let me tell you. Let me go to YouTube right now. Let's go back to YouTube. We'll leave him for a second. Okay, so I mean this is Digimon. You're gonna see Digimon from this. Have you ever said the N-word? He's confronting Ludwig about saying the N-word. This is a skit. This is Rick and Morty. This is when Giga gets sad for no reason. How to edit gaming video. These types of things. What the fuck? That was loud, so I'm not gonna click that. But basically, well, you click the video and then you want to see what the thing is on the video. So I mean, that's just how it be. What the hell? Oh my god. Cool. But yeah, nobody wants to be like, hey, I clicked the video. Where's the content? It's not here. Feel like I never wanted a job. Oh. Well, I think this is the guy complaining that he does not want to work, which is valid, but he's playing whatever this game is over it. But yeah, like you click the video because you want to see what the thing is about.
Happens all the time. A video starts, and in the intro, the person's saying, hey, welcome back to my channel. By the way, before we get into it, I just want to let you know that we just hit 570 subscribers, everybody. That's like 30 more subscribers than the last video. So hey, listen, I don't care. Let me learn more about you and your community over time, slowly, as I watch more and more of your awesome videos. Save all that community-centered chatter for the end of the video. That's what big YouTubers do all the time. When I get
This is a pro and a con, I think. If you explain who you are when you click, so basically there is a thing with content creation to where there's a retention. The average person watches the video for 30 seconds and then they decide whether they want to watch the video or not, or did they start skipping around, something like that. If you start the video out by just being like, hi, my name is Content Creator and today we're gonna do content, oh, you know, that's something. That's at least a standard. That's a neutral one. And then you get into the content. But if you're like, hi, my name is Content Creator, but before we start the content, see, you've already lost them. They want to see the content because they don't know who you are. So what a lot of people do is they do highlights. So for the 30 seconds to get past this, they show them why they should stick around for the video, because maybe something blows up or you shit yourself on the camera, something like that. So you show yourself shitting yourself, and then they're like, oh, this guy shit himself. I gotta click on. I gotta keep watching. So then you've gone past the 30 seconds and they might stay. So then after the 30 seconds, then you're like, hello, my name is Content Creator. We're gonna do some content today. They might be like, okay, all right, I'll stay. But yeah. He is very correct. Sometimes in this shape or form, because of the shorts and YouTube, people have so little audience retention, not audience retention, just retention themselves. They are the viewer, they have no retention. since you scroll, you scroll, and then you get TikToks, shorts that last like 10 seconds, and you keep going. If you don't like something, you get infinite content. So when they go to a thumbnail, they need that content immediately. So it might be better in this day and age in Big 25 to just get on in there. They click the thumbnail, you just go. Maybe, potentially. Who knows? I don't know. Not like I got fucking views.
I finished watching a Curtis Connor video. He invites me to subscribe so I can become a member of Curtis Town. If he did that at the very beginning of a video, I'd find that kind of annoying, but because he saves it to the end, I made it to the end, I'm more likely to dig out my little passport and hit the subscribe button so I can move in to Curtis Town as fast as possible. If you care about subscribers, that is the best time to ask people to subscribe.
That's true.
At the end of the video, when they've just sat through the entire thing. That means they probably enjoyed it. But I'm not just even talking about subscribers, and I don't even know if you should be asking people to subscribe. You shouldn't be focused on all the numbers.
You should definitely do that. I don't agree with that one. I feel if you want the person to see you again, you should ask them at some point to subscribe. Because they will click the video and then they may never see you again. And that's not what you want necessarily. You shouldn't focus on it. You shouldn't beg them. But you can either put in a little prompt or cue in the video. You don't even have to say it. Just put a little, they have these plugins that you can have on editing softwares to where a little YouTube thing pops up. It clicks the subscribe. It clicks the bell and then it goes away. And sometimes that's all you got to do. Don't do it frequently, but you don't even got to say it if you don't want to.
All the time. The views, the likes, the comments, all of it. Just give yourself a bit here. I'm harping on this because I just want you to make good videos. I want you to focus on that because I see this mistake made.
If the video is good, all that stuff will follow, though. He is correct.
So many times amongst new creators and creators struggling to grow. My last video got less impressions. Am I cooked? Does YouTube hate me? Oh, I only have 12 subscribers. I must be doing something wrong. If this sounds like you, the brutal, honest truth is, I believe, in my opinion, you are way too focused on the idea of being a YouTuber and not focused enough on what makes a YouTuber.
You gotta be a content creator. You have to create the content. That is the key word here. That is the golden buzzer. The word is content creator.
Content. I know you want subscribers. I know you want views because you're here posting videos. Make good stuff. Earn that over time.
Yeah, basically.
Earn the views and earn subscribers by making good content. Anyway, now that I've explained what a channel needs to do to grow, it's time for section 2. Not one size fits all on YouTube. What I've done is I've laid out a whole bunch of advice that might sound a lot like a list of rules, a definitive list that you absolutely have to follow in order to be successful. The truth is, though, you can do whatever you want on YouTube, as long as you obey the law and YouTube's guidelines. You can do whatever you want. You can take as long as you want until you get it right. But wait, what about having a specific niche or a gimmick? Can you really do whatever you want? At this point, we have hundreds of videos that go into
oh my god,
so
true.
I'm not going to do a deep dive here, but
see, that's true, because you're like, find the niche, but now there's a lot of niches.
Yes, niche is important, but there are two things that let you kind of break the niche rule on YouTube. Number one is that you need to focus on experimenting too throughout your entire time on YouTube. You can't just stay stuck doing the same thing forever because
agreed. They do tell you that, because some people, they find something that works and they try to ride that until they fall off of it. But when they fall off of it, they usually get burnt and don't want to do anything else. So, yeah, I personally don't think doing just a thing is good. You should do like a cacophony of things. Not a lot, but a few things.
Well, I chose this niche and this really narrow focus. That's certainly not how Annie Austin has become successful, and that's not how Froggy Crossing has become successful. She recently hit 1 million subscribers. She started out specifically focused on gaming, and lately she's managed to branch out that focus into other topics that her audience is resonating with. One look at her channel, you might think, oh, well, this is a lifestyle creator. But no, she started out playing games. And in fact, to this day, she still plays games and does streams of video games that she enjoys. She's found a way to make content that is relevant to a specific type of person, a person who likes the game she's playing, and a person who also likes the different things she's going out and doing outside of gaming. And that brings me to number 2, a niche.
See, that's the main thing. That's a hard one. doing gaming, but then doing something else, but then not losing everything. That's a fear I think a lot of people have, and that's why they won't switch or diverge from the thing that they're doing. But it is possible, but you have to dedicate. You can't buckle down because the number goes down. Because if you live for the number, you're going to turn into a content slave. And that is not good. You shouldn't become a slave. It's your channel and it's your content.
Can look like a lot of different things. It's not about a specific type of game. It's about a specific type of person that you're making content for. But again, I went all out on niche in the last video. I'll make sure to link that down below. But for now, let's get into the other rules of YouTube that might feel really restrictive for small channels. Real success on YouTube stems from building a channel around your specific situation and your personal interests, as I've said before. Now, this includes a lot of things, and I've mentioned the type of things you talk about on your channel. I also want to focus on the physical type of content that you're putting onto the website itself. Do you see yourself posting only videos or shorts or live streams or some combination thereof? Each one of those
anything
buckets
else?
Kind of has its own set of strategies and tactics if you want to be successful.
Yes.
One set of rules doesn't necessarily equal growth for all of the different ways you can make content on YouTube. Like,
True.
one thing that you could use to determine your specific strategy for your channel is your daily schedule. How much time are you setting aside every day, week, month for your YouTube channel?
That's a good question. So for me, as of right now, over the last 2 weeks, I've been working on a script for a YouTube video. What I tried to do in the past was synonymously make content on Twitch and then put it on YouTube. That does work, but it's not good, I think. It's really hard for me to explain why it feels like that, but it doesn't. I feel like large creators can do that because that's what their thing is. They go on stream, they look at stuff, they talk about it, and then they post it on YouTube, and then people who didn't catch the stream watch the thing that they were talking about. However, I can't hit that spear because I'm not a person where people, I feel, thinks that stuff that I look at shouldn't be missed because they don't know who I am. If that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain, but that's just me. So I've been dedicating a lot of time towards making a video, not like a reaction video, not a gameplay video, a video nonetheless, of me just looking at something that I love. And it, I hate it sometimes, but I feel like when I'm done, it will be worth it in the long run.
You be uploading videos daily? If you don't, or will you be successful? Are you not posting enough? Well, one quick look at a couple of very popular creators could settle your stomach there. Let's take a look at Doug and RT Game, two massive channels, similar in size, that have different upload schedules. Doug is uploading once a week, sometimes once a month. Meanwhile, RT Game posts multiple times a week, quite frequently. By anyone's measure, both of these channels look incredibly successful, so you need to be focused on making content that fits into the very specific U-shaped box that is your life. But let's try a hypothetical example. Let's say you're about to start a gaming news channel, okay? And that means you're going to be focused on really up-to-date trending topics. However, you also have a day job, and oftentimes you find that your videos are coming out late because the news drops at the beginning of your shift and you don't get to it until 7 p.m.
Hey, that's me. That's me. I have a whole thing. I'm going to try to start doing news to get some relevancy and some topics while I work on the stuff that I'm doing, because that's my experimentation.
At night after you get home from work. Now, somehow, you have to understand the day's news, record a video, edit the thing, thumbnail it, and get it posted, all before bed, because you do not want to be any more late to the party than you already are. In that particular case, what could a creator do in order to cover trending topics, but also get to bed at a decent hour? Well, if this person were asking for my advice, I would tell them to consider live streaming.
Hey,
I would say that they could be on their stream and they could pull up the news in real time and react.
That's what let's go.
Or
go
they
to
could read the news, understand it, and then go live. But either way, they can take some time to be live and then not have to edit a video afterwards.
So, I mean, that's how it goes. What you do, I think, is the best format for it is you go live. because this is my plan personally. I have an asset for me to well, for the thumbnails, but I need to make a desk and then a news anchor asset. You make the news anchor asset, you have the news in that box, and then you report on the news, and then you do segues, you know, like how the news does it. And then when you're done, and if that works and there's no scuff, then boom, you have a video that you can post on YouTube. And then you've done two birds, one stone. I think in that case, you've entertained a chat, you've entertained the YouTube video, and if the YouTube video wants to watch you live, then they can do that the next time you go live to look at the news. This is the way that it works. It's the big smarts, it's the big brain.
They live stream frequently and they get decent concurrent viewer numbers. The chat might actually offer some really interesting perspectives.
Oh my god,
and then
true.
You could take those conversations and you could turn those into YouTube.
So interactive chats are the best thing because they keep the conversation going. Sometimes they can extend the conversation, sometimes they can destroy the conversation, but it's conversation nonetheless, and you're all talking about a similar point. Basically, it's good stuff. It works. It just works
to help grow this live streaming empire you're building.
Yeah.
Now, yes, a video does typically get more traction than, say, a concluded live stream, but in this case, old news is old news. So whether it's a video or a live stream, doesn't really matter. You need to jump on this topic. And news aside, and quick side note, I've seen live streams that can get traction after the fact, after they're done being live, just like a video. If they have good titles, thumbnails, good conversation, those can spread far and wide. Each type of content is going to have its own best practices when it comes to growing. Live streaming is a totally different practice from just uploading videos. So I want to go over like the general tactics of what it means to make each type of content. Videos can show up in search and the home feed. So for them, you're really going to want to focus on having a good title, a good thumbnail, and a solid hook. For shorts, most of them don't appear on the home feed.
They do not.
Most people find your short while they're scrolling through shorts. So title isn't important anymore. We're talking about the hook now. Like the first 3 seconds needs to be really, really solid. Unless you...
Okay, very true. So, for a YouTube video, you need all three. For the short, the 3 seconds, because like I said earlier, a YouTube video, the retention is 30 seconds. For a short, the retention is 3 seconds. It's a very cutthroat. So yeah, that's why if you wonder why if you see a short or a TikTok and they start the video out with stop scrolling, or they scream, or I don't know, you hear somebody moaning or something like that. That's why. That's why you actually see some formats of people. God, I wish I had an example to show you. But so here's an example. They're talking about how an employee feels with this new burger expansion they're doing with like a celebrity, and then they'll keep showing flashes of this guy covered in white stuff, right? And they'll show that every 2 seconds throughout the video. Could be like 1 minute and 30 seconds long, but they'll show it every 2 to 7 seconds, just a flash of them screaming with cum on their face. Now they do that because they don't want you to leave, because they know that if they get bored, they will scroll. So yeah, I think that's why that's like hook cheating. You're like jangling the keys like the Markiplier thing. Let me see if I can pull up the Markiplier thing real quick. It's a very legendary thing. The Markiplier keys. It truly explains.
So back in the day, jingle jingle jingle.
Yep.
Back in the day, before the back rooms were a thing, okay? Jingle jingle, pay attention. I said your favorite word, the back rooms, okay? The back rooms, dingle dangle dingle dangle.
Oh my
Before
god.
that was a thing. The concept of a place with endless impossible dingle dangle dingle dingle jingle.
So I mean no hate. I mean no harsh words, but this is just how the internet has made people. If they can't listen to words, they need something to keep their attention. The words are they're gonna wander. Their brain's gonna be like, oh, where am I? And then you jingle the thing and they're like, oh, you know, that type of stuff. I don't know why I made those noises for it, but that's how it feels sometimes, in honest opinion.
You're doing a search-based short. Maybe your short answers a specific question. Then, oops, title matters here too. If you
Yes.
want to be a live streaming only channel, you really do need to leverage other types of content. I
Yeah.
actually can't think of a single successful live stream only channel. They're always posting something else.
Okay. Big thing. I'm friends with streamers, and I hope to have a large network of people that I know. But I mean this so honestly, streamer people that know me, please stop only streaming. I think only streaming is not good. It's good for growth, but I don't think it's good for getting people to stay. I think you need to put yourself on something else in tandem with your live streams. Just like the highlights, anything, something, even the clips. But I would say even the clips, but you got to put your clips on like a clip channel on YouTube or on TikTok, because Twitch dead ass does not fucking they don't push it out like that. They don't give you relevancy. People have to find you on their own or stumble across you, and then you have to hope that it's very random. It's very random.
Somewhere else. Streamers will cut down long live streams into more bite-sized videos and post them on their YouTube channels, or they'll have multiple YouTube channels, some for live stream VODs, some for clips, and some for videos that were recorded off stream. If you find yourself doing some combination of these content types, a lot of people do that, and that can work too, but it also increases your overall workload. As I'm running through all these examples, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, no, that's not right. I've actually seen a channel who's done it this way that he's saying wouldn't work. There are just too many channels on this website where you won't find some exception to some rule that someone has touted in one of these videos.
That's true.
And that's what I want to talk about before we get into the last section. I want to talk about YouTube growth videos themselves, because I don't think this will be the last video you ever watch.
Oh god, he's pointed out the elephant in the room. There are a lot of channels that make these videos of how to grow as a content creator, how to grow as a TikToker, how to grow as a Twitch streamer. And then once you click this video, the algorithm's gonna see that you want to grow and that you're tired of being small, and they're gonna give you a billion of them to watch
on how to grow a YouTube channel, right? I've been doing this long enough now to where I've seen creators who are YouTube growth creators say completely opposite things back to back. One creator will say,
that's because everybody has different opinions and so forth on what worked for them to become larger. I've seen big people, they tell you don't even do it. They're like, don't even try. And I'm like, don't say that. That's not good. You cannot say that, to just tell people not to try. It's possible. But sometimes I don't even think they know how they got famous. I think that's why they tell you don't try. They'll be genuine when they said it, and they're like, oh, I just got lucky. I don't think they just got lucky. They did the same thing. They just did it earlier than us. They were on the grind, is what got them big. They got traction, and they did not stop with it. They kept going. And that's what has to happen. If you ever get traction, you gotta start running. You gotta start working with that shit. You gotta get them before they leave. Because if they leave, that could be it, at least for them. But you gotta keep going. I know that might have been very anxiety inducing, but it's the truth. That's why you see a lot of the big people. If you have seen any big person that wasn't big, like what, 5+ years ago, they got attention probably during COVID, and then they took it and they ran with it. Now, COVID was a very good year for content creators because nobody could leave their home, nobody could go outside, so everyone was just on the phone, on the computer, gaming, watching people play games. And now people are back out in the real world, so it's hard again. It's difficult. But let's see what he says.
Focus on this. Another creator says focus on that.
Do both.
And the thing is, both of them can be right at the same exact time,
yes,
depending on the specific people they're talking to.
True.
So this year, I want you to be flexible when it comes to YouTube advice.
Yes, sir.
Be willing to try things that videos like this suggest.
Yeah.
But also be willing to say to yourself, maybe that particular piece of advice isn't for me. Pick one thing to improve at a time and keep a positive attitude as you go through your YouTube journey. But
oh my God, please don't turmoil. Don't give up. It's hard. It's a long road. Some people did not get anything until like a couple years into their journey of content creation. So you can't give up. That's the main thing. Because if you give up, you'll never get anything ever. because you stopped. It's the hard part.
Okay, enough of that. Section 3. This one's a bit interesting. I got to talk to somebody who's been doing this for a long time. Maybe
Cool.
you've heard of them, or maybe you haven't.
I
'cause there's
probably
a lot
haven't.
of famous gaming creators at this point. Before we dive in, though, I have a quick question for you.
Yep.
What is your goal with your YouTube channel? And I don't mean how many subscribers do you want. Do you want this to be a business one day, or are you just looking for a fun, successful hobby?
That's an interesting question. I don't like when I'm asked that question, because when I was young, well, not young, no, when I was young, I had a concept. I was too poor to do the YouTube thing, and I mean that genuinely, because I'm talking when I was young back in like fucking 2016, that type of deal, 10 years ago type shit. I was like, oh, I'd love to be a content creator because I could make a lot of money, because I saw through the cracks, I saw through the looking glass, because young-ish, exactly, young-ish. I saw people going to Japan, going across the world, and then they would make vlogs, and then they would get paid a lot of money for it, and I'm like, ooh, that's cool, I like that, that's neat. Could that be me one day? Probably not. I'm lame, I'm not special. But now, in my older age, I see that basically all the community that's built off of it, all of the fun that can be had, all the experience that can be had, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want that. I would love. I'm so jealous. True. Wait, jealous of what? The people who can go to Japan? Me too. But see, they can go to Japan because of just the path that they're taking. I wish I could get paid to go to Japan. Don't we all, bro? Fuck, Jesus. But basically, I really like games, and I really like being analytical. If I could find a way to blend those two things with also the stuff that I enjoy, I feel like I could have something. I don't think that I'm unlikable. I feel like I could probably do with increasing my speech skills a bit. You know, I'm at like speech 40, you know, trying to get to speech 100, you know, like in Skyrim. But I really feel like I want to have something. I could build something here. I want to have, I don't know if this sounds stupid, I would love to have an empire of people who just really love games and they just love to think about stuff. I would adore that so fucking bad. But it's not just games, it's like mediums, like BoJack Horseman, other shit like the Avatar Last Airbender, just like people who love their nerd stuff, but they also like to think. They're not afraid to think. Because I see a lot of people on the internet, they don't like to think anymore. They want the phone to think for them. Shit, I've gone on Twitter and I see people adding the Grok bot because they literally cannot dictate words in front of them anymore. We're your empire. Can I call you boss? Not yet. Not yet. I don't have an empire yet. The empire must be will be built. See, that could be what I call the empire. God. That'd be good. But irregardless, I would love that. Just people who like games, they have like their own autonomy. Having communities like this where people have different opinions could be one thing, because I've seen people, like for example, I was on Ag Grok. What does this mean? See, exactly. If like I'm saying shit right now, people on Twitter, they might not even know what the fuck I'm saying. They're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then they'll at the Grok, and then the Grok will tell him, the Ag Grok will be like, he's saying that he wants to be famous and build community, and they're like, oh, okay, I see. Okay, cool. And then that's just it. But yeah, I would adore more people. I found a couple people, a very close content creator friend that I have made. Big gamer, that one. Big gamer. And I was talking in her chat the other day about how I'm gonna play this gacha game after I stop, after I shut the fuck up about this video one of these days. I'm gonna play the Persona 5 X gacha game. And she's like, why the hell would you do that? I don't like gacha games. She said that with her own autonomy, with her own voice. And I agreed. I also don't like gacha games. But then a chatter was like, what's wrong with gacha games? And I'm like, what isn't wrong with gacha games, my man? It's stuff like that. I love that. That interaction right there is everything to me. I don't know why it is, but it is. I love the conversation. I'm a conversative man. You talk to me right now, I'm gonna talk to you back. That's just how it goes. But yeah, that's what I want. And the only way I can get that is, I feel, by doing these types of things, playing the Resident Evil games, and then talking about my opinions on them. Because people love remembering shit. They love nostalgia. I realize this now. Hello, what's good, fam? I do not like nostalgia, but I notice that everyone else does, so I can use that to my benefit. I don't have nostalgia for these games. I never played them. I am talking to you, indeed. Indeed, you talked to me, so I talked back. But, they would see me and the game, and I would talk about these features. I'll talk about how it make me feel. I would invite them to go into the comments to talk about how it makes them feel. If they don't even think that I'm right, if they think that I'm stupid for not liking a gameplay mechanic, they'll tell me that shit. I don't care. Talk to me. Talk about the game. That is what I want. If money and fame came from that, cool. If I didn't, if I had to work a job and do this on the side, and if I had that community, I would still do it. Honest to God. I know a lot of people, they say that. They'd be like, oh, I would do this if I didn't make millions of dollars. And, you know, shit like that. But I genuinely mean it. I do. And that's me. That's me. It's just frustrating because I feel like sometimes I make these videos and then the YouTube thing doesn't want to push it at people. Because I made a video talking about the Nintendo thing, because I wanted to be a part of that conversation, and they were like, yeah, fuck what you're talking about, we're not even gonna push it out. I don't know what's up with that one. That's a valid complaint for me, because if you make something, they should push it out. Come on. But that's a whole different thing.
And what kind of content?
The YouTube algorithm is mysterious. It's a fucking conundrum. I don't even know what the hell. It's like a void, basically.
Keep those goals in mind going forward. Try to figure out that answer for yourself before going any further on YouTube. Because,
you know, I'm fucking say it. I think I came at that video a little too, like the thumbnail and the title were too, not even neutral, just questionable. I should have just been like, I fucking hate Nintendo. People would have clicked that shit, because I wasn't understanding that you have to abuse the words, and the algorithm's like, damn, Nintendo, hate, damn, I know who to give that to. Here you go. And then they give it to like 20,000 people. And then they'll be like, dude, I also hate Nintendo. I'm gonna click the video. And then they click it. And that's just how it be.
Because you need to prioritize enjoying what you're doing. The creator I spoke to is really aspirational for me because they do enjoy what they're doing quite a lot. And they've been at it for over a decade. And they have the kind of channel that I think so many gaming creators want to build for themselves. He's the kind of creator who finds a new game, he sits down and he does his commentary as he plays it all the way through, releasing an entire series over the course of several days, weeks, or months along the way. The channel is called Zach's Got Games, and I ask Zach a lot of questions that creators come to us with all the time. He had really awesome insights to share. I'm going to share just bits of this interview with you, but if you enjoy it, let us know, because I might be able to release the whole thing at some point in the future. In terms of the games you
can you be reasonable in the actual video? Yeah, that's true. I can be reasonable in the video, but for the thumbnail, yeah, you got. Don't hate bait, because people, they don't. Because like, if I'm like, I hate Nintendo, and then I'm like, I don't actually hate Nintendo, they'll be like, I was lied to. You lied to me. You lying sack of shit. And then they'll say that in the comments. But yeah, you know, but stuff like that.
Select for your channel, like what's the criteria? You know, how do you know this is a game that is definitely something I'm going to record versus a game that you're
okay, hold on, this might actually be for me. Hold on, I'm going to listen to this one. Sorry if you don't like this video, because I do realize that this is a video geared towards myself that I am watching on stream to an audience that may not be content creators. But hey, I told you I like talking about games. This is a part of games. You people, this is take it like this. This is an outside look, but they did comment though. I hate that. That's true. They would actually call. But this is an outside looking in on what it takes to be one of these creators. And if you yourself also want to be a creator, by all fucking means, go do it. You don't even need expensive equipment. I have seen big creators that have the worst microphones known to man, but they use it because it's funny. Because it's so funny. You sound like a fucking an Xbox kid from 2009, basically, with those bad microphones. So yeah. But yeah, what criteria do you use when selecting games to record? The criteria that I use is if I want to play it. Definitely. I need to expand that. So let's see what he says.
You're just going to kind of keep for yourself.
I pretty much know by now that anything related to some of the games that have performed well in the past, like Plants vs. Zombies or any Nintendo games, are going to do better. Anything that has kind of a more friendly aesthetic seems to do better.
That's really interesting.
Really?
Do you feel like your audience,
What's his audience?
responds
Are they
to
kids?
a certain genre of game more than another?
I think that games that have kind of repetitive mechanics, but maybe different outcomes, are appealing. Some story games, do well. I guess you would call Zelda kind of a story game, or even Mario is somewhat of a story game. But in general, it seems like people like to watch things that have a little bit of action, some level of repetitiveness, probably something that's just more approachable to general audiences.
I want to talk a little bit about the episodic nature of the content. It always feels like episode 1 is going to do fantastic.
Okay, all right. I know what he's going to say. I know what he's going to say, true. So when he's talking about episodic channel, so if you've ever seen a person play a series, right, they're going to have episode 1 to episode 20 until it's done. The first episode is always going to have the most views. The only thing that would have equal, but usually never more amount of views, is the end, the very end. Unless there's something like big, like a big spoiler, like somebody dies, they're going to go to that video to see their reaction. But yes, usually with serializations, everybody clicks the first video. That first video might get like 200,000, and then every other video might get like 20K to 40K, and then the end might get like 150K. That's usually how it looks.
Fantastic. Episode 1 of anything, when you're speaking in the context of like a gaming series, tends to do really well. And then episode 2, bit of a drop. Episode 3, more of a drop. And it gets to a few episodes in before you kind of see that like point where it settles.
I think the landscape has changed, especially in the kind of a post-COVID area. But yeah, in general now, and even back then, it was true that the first episode would do better, would perform better. And I think,
yeah, unfortunately, you get a drop off the longer you go on. That's always how it's been. Back when I was learning Blender, it's the same thing. Serializations, they always have people that drop off of it. I looked at this legendary video, if you ever wanted to learn Blender, called the Blender Donut Tutorial. The first one has like millions of views, but then every video you go on, people drop off because it's kind of difficult, and they leave. So by the end of it, they see how many people have dropped off and not gone through with finishing the donut, so they're like, hey, comment people, congratulations for sticking through like the 20 episode series. This only isn't the case for like episodic content like podcasts. True, podcasts are like, so if we talk about television shows, right, the reason why chronological shows don't work for view wise on cable television is because if you miss one episode, you're fucked. You are fucked, because someone could die, something could happen, the world could explode, a plot point could be revealed, and then the next week they'll just keep going on. They won't, sometimes they give you a recap to help you, but sometimes they don't. And they're like, well, fuck, can't watch the show anymore, it's unwatchable, I'll have to wait for the DVD or the Blu-ray or for it to go on Netflix. For the internet, it's a little different. Well, I guess I should talk about its counterpoint. The episodic ones, where it's just episode to episode. Every episode they're doing something different, and nothing really affects the bottom line of the show. Take a show like Ed, Edd n Eddy from Cartoon Network, very old show. Yep, might not know what that is. If you don't, why? Anyway, Ed, Edd n Eddy, every episode they're trying to scam these kids in the cul-de-sac. Every single episode, something is happening to them or to the world of Ed, Edd n Eddy, but at the end of the episode, it goes right back to the start. They just do it again. It's not like that for chronological episodes, really. So if you're on YouTube and you see a person doing that, where they're like, hey, I'm gonna play Expedition 33, and you know, you see the Gamage scene, you're like, oh damn, I can't wait to see what happens next. But then what happens usually is they kind of do something else, life happens, and then the next time they check out this channel, they have 12 more episodes of Expedition 33, and they're like, I'm not going to watch all that because that's a lot. And a lot of people like to protect their sense of time and what they have to do during the day, so they don't watch it. And to be fair, sometimes these episodes are like an hour long, so that's a lot, because to watch all of those episodes you would need 12 hours of time. So that's just why. That's the truth.
I think that's because, you know, a lot of people just kind of want to see what the game's about. They just want to kind of get a little bit of a sense of the game, but not necessarily stick around for the full game. And even as a viewer, that's kind of me. You know, I don't watch a lot of full gameplays. I'll definitely watch a trailer. I might watch a little bit of a gameplay myself. And, you know, if I'm really into it, then I might just want to play it myself. You know, I think the viewers who stick around for, you know, the longer term of the game, you know, down to the end of it are people who are more there for the personality rather than just the game.
I'm curious as to, is there
That is true. At a certain point, if you have that flat baseline, so if you always have 20k people watching every single one of your Expedition 33 playthrough, that means that they just want to see you play the game. They're in there for the long haul. That is your dedicated audience right there. Wait, what is your video link strategy? Oh, this is a good one. I should listen to this one.
a strategy there? Like when should a video be 2 hours? When should a video be 20 minutes?
When I first started years ago, it seemed like all the creators were doing, and this is back before YouTube really allowed long videos.
What, the 11-minute thing?
Creators were doing 15 minutes and under
Yeah.
for each episode. But then once we got access to longer and longer videos, I just kind of started gravitating to what kind of felt logical for.
I didn't know that. Back in the day, were you limited to like 20 minutes or something like that? That's crazy. I didn't know there was a limit. Wild stuff.
For that part of the game. For me, that often lands on, you know, anywhere from the 45-minute to an hour mark or less if it's a more heavy action-based game, or even Plants vs. Zombies game. A game like Astrobot, if it's divided into sections, I try to just kind of stick to the section because I feel like that communicates a decent part of the story.
That's crazy. Well, I agree.
That's
I agree.
what people are searching for.
If someone came up to you who was starting out today, they're working towards perhaps
Tips for getting your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Ooh, taking notes. Let me know, Magic Man.
perhaps their first 1,000 subscribers, what advice?
Let me know, King.
Honestly, I would probably tell them do shorts because shorts seems like the quickest way to accrue subscribers right now on YouTube.
That's fair. That is fair. That's true. I mean, they can. Well, the secret is to use shorts basically, and they will click the video.
YouTube.
They'll click that
Especially
subscribe.
if you develop shorts specifically for being shorts. I've had a couple of shorts bring in thousands of subscribers. The benefit
Damn.
that shorts have is that they
All right, let's see what is this. So 179k likes, 4.4 million views back in 2022. Damn. Might as well, honestly. I mean, shit. I already got you covered, bro. When I was waiting for the stream to start, hold on, let me go to my channel real quick. Ooh, hey, look at this. I made one right here. Check it out. Seem like you're hitting on her? Absolutely. No one brings wine to a fucking school project, dude. That's weird.
Yeah, that's
weird.
odd. Like, nah, dude.
If
don't
I was
do it.
doing a project with someone and they busted out wine, I'd just raise my eyebrow like, what the fuck are you doing,
It's
bro?
like beer you might already just have, right?
I got some beer out of the fridge. It's like, hey, I brought some wine. Just like, my brother in Christ, are you trying to fuck me? Exactly. Bringing wine to a school project is fucking weird, bro. It's fucking odd. But yeah, definitely I'll put that short on YouTube. See if some people get some subscriptions, because that is the way that I am. That is the way that I talk. I'm trying to talk a little bit better. I slurred my words a little bit, but I'm working on it. I'm very new. I'm super green, even though I'm gray, but yeah. Yeah, you like what I did there? Like the guy from One Piece. He's like, you broken my heart, but I don't have a heart to break anymore because I'm a skeleton.
They show up in people's feeds,
Like, hey, you want to see more? Watch the next video. True.
like it or not. It's just basically on the algorithm.
If it was more than that, because I mean, we do have a number of creators who are like, well, shorts, okay, I get it, it brings you subscribers. What if I do want to make this a job one day? Because you obviously have the ambition of
Fair.
being like a full-time YouTuber. If this got ripped out from underneath you, you had to start from zero like today, what would be your strategy to kind of rebuild it back up to?
That's a great question. If you did not have your success, how would you get it back? How would you do it again?
To getting back to that full-time position?
In today's market, I mean, I don't know how much I would lean into Let's Play content. Let's Play content doesn't seem to work as well as it used to. You know, 'cause
Hell no, it does not. You cannot just Let's Play. You have to Let's Play with the gimmick. I'm very glad he said that, because that reaffirms my suspicions from the start of the video, which I was talking about, where you cannot just play a game. You have to play the game plus. You have to do something else. You have to play the game, but in the game, you're like, I don't know, trying to see if anyone is trying to find you. I don't even know. It's something stupid. Like, you play the game, but you stop when you find the first virgin or something like that.
I look at like other creators who've been around like as long as me, or just even new people starting out, it doesn't seem like strictly Let's Plays are what people really do. They kind of try to create content around the video game,
Yes,
to tell maybe a different story than what the game itself is telling.
you have to add. Yeah, you have to add a layer. You have to do something in tandem with playing the game, which is why I bring up the toilet guy. The toilet guy was super smart, because that's a good video.
I would lean into a mixture of that and live streaming, because live streaming is a good way to build a community who's, I think, going to be there for you consistently. The one thing that's remained consistent across YouTube for years is consistency, and people just kind of doing it. Not necessarily, I don't mean like doing the same thing over and over, but
I noticed that they did. I didn't bring him up. So I watched the Trash Chase podcast. They had a guy on there a couple weeks ago called what the fuck was the name? I don't Let me see. This guy is goated. There he is, Josh Strife Hayes. So Josh Strife Hayes, what he does is he plays MMOs. He plays them for like 100 hours, and then he reports on the game. He tells people if it's good, if it's bad, and everything in between, and how it made them feel. That's what you have to do. If you want people to watch you play the game, you have to do more. You can't just play it. You have to like report on it. You have to be like, hey, this game made my wife leave me, and I'm gonna tell you why. That type of shit. Basically. Or you'll be like, this game gave me nightmares, and then they'll click the video to see why it gave you nightmares. If you tell them, of course, why it gave you nightmares, they might still watch it. If you put this game gave me nightmares, and then you're just playing the game and it's super scary and they just want to watch you get scared, that could also work. But if you are like, this game gave me nightmares and here's why, they're gonna click it. They're gonna be listening. You have to intrigue them. Exactly. You have to like seduce them, low-key.
Sticking to a schedule, listen to what your viewers are saying, and look at your analytics and what's performing well.
Those are my big questions. I have some little ones from just our Discord server. How do you get such high quality images of characters close up for your thumbnails?
Oh, that's a great question. I like that question a lot, because I do spend a lot of time on my thumbnails. So
Is this a plug? I feel like this is a plug, but open a question that you will answer. Yeah, true. How many? God. What? See, this is a new concept I have to think about, because this video has now opened my brain hole, right? It's opened it up for its big old dig. What am I talking about? What the fuck? Anyway, so basically my mind has been opened to now, instead of just playing the video game, I mean, I will still do that. I now have to play the video game plus and more. I have to make it interesting. If you play Expedition 33, you gotta be like, count how many people were gonna die in the Gamage, you know, that type of stuff. So they might actually click that. That might be a good video. Who knows?
I take screenshots from the game. I try to take them from cutscenes, so that they're already pre-made to look at like an ideal angle.
Oh, let me tell you, if you're a gaming content creator, screenshots, photo mode, your best friend. When I play Death Stranding, I'm going to abuse the fuck out of that photo mode, because that's how you get the money shots. That's how you get the good thumbnails. You make a good thumbnail, people might click it off of that. That might be like, oh, that look good, I want that one, and they'll click it.
But if it's not a cutscene, I often run them through software that upscales. For some of the other things, it's just key
Same, I do that also.
Themselves.
I think the most important thing about gaming,
I do all of that. I really like that he said that. That makes me feel really good about how I make my thumbnails. I make them the exact same way. I get a screenshot, I run it through an upscaler so that it doesn't look all bad and that it like smooths out the pixels. I get the logo, and then boom, just video. Facts, I am validated. Yay.
thumbnail, is making sure that, because it's IP that people are going to like recognize first and foremost. We all know there's been a billion changes to YouTube in the last decade or so, but like, what changes specifically do you feel like made things
great
easier
question.
for you and or made things harder for you?
I'm gonna make a prediction, and I am going to say I definitely think that makes things hard is the implementation of short content. Short content makes people really stupid, makes them not want to pay attention, makes them not listen, and it also makes them just leave. Did check out a lot earlier.
The easier one is hard to answer because I don't know that YouTube has gotten easier. I think the tools that they give you to create and publish,
Right, bro's like,
videos
it's
is a
always been
little
hard.
easier. They give you the A/B testing on thumbnails now, which is
True,
useful. I
true.
feel like YouTube in general is harder than it used to be, but I don't think that's YouTube's fault. I think it's just the space has grown so much.
It's saturated. A lot of people say that it's impossible to get anything because it's oversaturated, but that's wrong. What the truth is, it's hard to get anything if you act like everybody else, because if everybody is in the same bubble of just kind of being the same person that basically looks at videos and just says the same shit over and over and doesn't really say anything of note, then yeah, you're not going to get anything. They're going to be like, oh, I know like 20 other people like you. Cool. But if you stand out and just make yourself known as a person who can do something that you can't get anywhere else, I feel like you'll get something eventually. You might have to try for a while until the right people find you, but I feel like it'll happen.
There's so many creators. Gaming, I feel like, has gotten a lot more saturated. But if you want to do this, but you're not set on just being a successful content creator, YouTuber or whatever, definitely, if it's just a hobby, definitely just do it. There's like hardly any risk to just doing it. If you enjoy gaming, if you enjoy being in front of people, like even if it's just like, a few people coming into your stream, like definitely try it out, definitely do it, definitely stick with it as long as you can.
Or to put it simply, just make videos.
That is the main thing. That is the main takeaway. That is what most of the big creators will tell you. Because if they're like, oh, I'm a new content creator, how do I get into the content creation? And they'll be like, just make the video. That is what they will say, because that's really how you get started. Just make the video and keep making videos. Do it. Do it. I don't care if you don't know how to edit. Do it.
Improvements along the way, but one step at a time, and make something you're proud of. As I mentioned before, there is so much advice that I covered last year that is also incredibly relevant to this day. So please go check that out next. Huge shout out to Zach Scott Games. Thank you for letting us your time. And hey, to all of you,
goddamn,
good luck on your channels this year.
Oh, that was so sweet. Made me emotional. Oh my goodness, that was such a good video. I talked about that video for the longest amount of time, but that was me yapping about just being a gaming content creator in 2025. Basically, you get an idea, do it, and make something that you like. Basically, just get out there, do it, go do it. But that was all for this segment. Thanks for watching, if you watched this far. But hey, you know who I am, and if you don't know, now you know. I am Evermore. Like what I did there. All right, cool. Great. That was not a recording that I made. I'm gonna have to get that out of the VOD, because I'm definitely putting that on YouTube, because I talked for quite some time about that. And I can see it now, yapping about being a content creator, yapping about being a gaming content creator in 2025. I hope that if I can, I feel like there's a lot of people who make videos telling you how to be this big creator, but there's no creators that are like, hey, I'm gonna talk about how it feels to be in this space of being small. I want to put this on YouTube just to see if I can get some creators that are like, damn, I feel the same way this guy feels. You know, that stuff like that. That'd be cool. And also, if I get some subscribers, that would definitely be cool. I would like that a lot. All right, what time is it? It's almost 2. Goddamn. I don't know why I did this. I was supposed to play a video game.